Hi. Hello. How are you? I am putting some things into the live feed. I don't know if I'm allowed to actually. I guess I'm not. Okay. So I will try and figure out how to. Um, I have like 4 YouTube videos that speak about this and all the current events, which I think are hugely important. And so I would like for people to follow or watch those episodes on YouTube. So let me just say hello. My name is Sarah MacArthur. I have been remiss in the last 2 weeks. There's just been so much stuff happening. I haven't been able to focus my attention on one specific chapter. And one of the reasons is because there's so much stuff happening on YouTube and on Project 2025. It's in the mainstream, at least in the mainstream that I watch. I watch MSNBC, I watch CBS, I watch Seth Meyers, and I watch Stephen Colbert. They're talking about it. Then there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. And so the Midas Touch Network talks about it on a regular basis. Brian Taylor Cohen talks about it. And now Heather Cox Richardson's talking about Project 2025. Do they have, huge voluminous amounts of followers? They've got, some of them have over 1 million. Midas Touch has like 2 million. Brian Taylor Cohen, I think, is probably up to 1 million, if not more. And so, to me, those are mainstream now. And the best thing that we can do, that you can do, is when you're getting a recommendation from somebody to watch something, you should watch it. It explains a lot and it tells you a lot of stuff. Oh, hello, whoever's here, hello. I don't know who's here. I can't tell. Anyway, but I'm thrilled to death that somebody's watching with me while I'm talking. Okay, so a couple of points. I had a text exchange with my sister this morning in which she said she's so fed up. She doesn't know what to believe. She's just so convinced that Trump is going to win. And I can't begin to tell you how much I don't believe that's true. There are so many things that Trump has done, and he has alienated the Republican base, and I don't believe that women are going to elect him. I know that in special elections and when the question of abortion or access to abortion, not to get an abortion, but to have health care for a woman, has come up in other states, the Democrats won. Most people are not part of the extremist group of people that you see that are being promoted and that are unfairly being promoted to the extent that, the billionaires are now, Elon Musk is going to give $45 million a month to Trump's special pact or whatever it is. Well, great, good for him. But the truth is that when you get into the voting booth, people vote whatever their actual feelings and hearts and minds tell them. So we can influence their minds by giving them the information about what the plan is. And so the plan is that what my point to you is, I don't think Trump's going to win. And I say that. And today I watched Heather Cox Richardson's thing, and she said that. And I was like, I really respect and admire her. She's brilliant in so many ways that I will never be able to be in terms of knowledge and how she presents it and how she helps people understand both historically how something happened or how it was created, and then going forward, how can you help and what can you do? And so what she said was that it's not really likely that he's going to win. And the more they do that is unpopular, and the more that people become aware of what the Heritage Foundation is and what it's done and what their plan is for our country, which Jamie Raskin is tonight on Brian Taylor Cohen talking about, the worst, it's going to be a death knell for our world. They want to roll back every single progressive. And when I say progressive, I mean anything that has advanced climate control so that we can save our planet. they want to roll all those back. They want to just drill, baby, drill, as I used to say. But drill, baby, drill means they don't care if they poison the water, and they don't care if the air is bad. I believe people should be able to make money, but not at the expense of destroying our country and destroying our planet and the world. And so when you tell me that, oh, those poor people don't get to, those corporations that are making record breaking profits don't get to do that, I'm not really that sympathetic, because they could still do it, and still do it where they don't pollute our planet. So for people to suggest otherwise is ridiculous. So what did Heather Cox Richardson talked about? That one of the things that we need to be aware of in the Project 2025 is where it came from in the inception. And it started during the Reagan years. And she talks about how, that was when things started to actually change in terms of people's attitudes towards government. And the Heritage Foundation was just a policy think tank back then, back in the 80s. Now it's grown. And I do believe, because they put this book out and suggest that they want to affect policy in this way, that they are violating their 501c3 IRS tax code they were given when they were established. And that is that you're not supposed to be preaching and making political suggestions, just like the churches aren't supposed to be doing that either. And so I believe they should be taxed. And I just think they should be, let me see here. I think I can get this off of here. Let me see. Oops. Hold on. I just do believe that they should be able to, oops, I'm going to take off Rachel's, that they should be able to not get the tax exemption status that they have and that they currently enjoy. It's not appropriate. So I just believe that's important for people to know. So here is one thing that I'm pushing out. Okay, these are two of the YouTube channel things that I wanted you to see, and I will put others in before I leave tonight. So I don't want to distract my chain of thought. And the chain of thought is this: the president of what's his name now? His name is who is this guy? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I can't think what his name is. I don't want the contributors. The head guy, the president of the Heritage Foundation is, oh, wow. Oh, well, I'm not even sure. Kevin Roberts. So Kevin Roberts has been espousing that, and this is talked about on Heather Cox Richardson's tape, that he's talking about Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary. Now, this is the second time he's been elected in Hungary. First time he actually ran a democratic country. Second time he did everything that is in the playbook that Timothy Schneider has given us on tyranny, about how you destroy democracies. And he took that playbook and ran with it. He made it a one-party state. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. He did not in Hungary. He controlled the media. He started making it impossible for the media to report on stories. And he has taken over the universities and told you what you can and can't teach. Think Florida. And he did all of those things. And this guy, Kevin Roberts, admires that. And that's what they have planned for our country. They want to do that to our country, to change our representational democracy into a fascist state, an authoritarian state, where they pretend that they are democratic, but they're not really democratic. And they're not going to let you have, what would you call it? Oh my gosh, we're getting rain. They're not going to let you have your own free will. They're going to take over businesses. They're going to, and the other person that, President Trump several weeks ago said, oh, I don't know anything about Project 2025. which we all know, since the man can't speak without lying, is a lie. And so Mr. Trump just selected his at the Republican National Conference that they're having right now. He just decided that J.D. Vance from Ohio, who's been a senator for all of 18 months with no other political history, is the best choice for him. Well, Rachel Maddow has pointed out that, yes, he's a Viktor Orban fan, and he thinks that our country ought to go and do what Hungary has done. And I think that you'll find out if you do any Google searching, Hungary's not in a good place. And they have taken over their country, and we no longer have representational government. So I know I talked about it when I first started, but this book is a playbook to change our government and have it not be 3 equal branches, but have it be where it's the Unitarian, it's where they put the president above the other 2 branches. And then they basically, the president doesn't have to listen to anyone else. The other thing that the president wants to do in this situation, now that you know the history, and also just backtracking a second so I complete my actual thought, which is several weeks ago, President Trump had a guest at Mar-a-Lago, a foreign dignitary, Viktor Orban. He was there at Mar-a-Lago and had a nice long visit with him. And the institute, the Danube Institute, I believe it's called, over there, is this Kevin Roberts from Heritage Foundation is all about following their playbook in terms of changing our government and changing it into the president is in charge of everything. And if they actually succeed and get elected, then what they want to do is they want to make it so that they can change the classification of about 4,000 immediate career employees. And when I say career employees for the federal government, what I mean is that those people they're not political appointees. They're not somebody that were hired to help with the agenda of the president, which is what they want to change them into, so that they would report not to the Constitution or to the agency that they believe in or that they're working for or that they're experts for, but he wants to put in place and fire on the first day that he takes over. He wants to fire 4,000 of them, and then he wants to I'm not really sure what that's about. Okay, he wants to fire all of them and replace them with loyalists who they are vetting and interviewing and creating a massive list right now for. And when I say that, I mean he wants to turn them into somebody that are loyal to President Trump. So the people that would run the Department of Justice would be loyal to him. And that means that's not an independent agency anymore, where we have laws and law and order is our governing premise, where everybody in this country is nobody in this country is above the law. But that the Supreme Court just changed that, and they made it so that President Trump can, in fact, request that people assassinate his political opposition, and then he can issue them a pardon if anybody finds out. And he doesn't even have to hide it anymore, because the Supreme Court said nobody can prosecute him for anything that he does while he's the president if it's an official duty. And oh, by the way, ordering an assassination per the Supreme Court is an official duty. Our Supreme Court is corrupt. Joe Biden has just put out yesterday a plan to correct our renegade and absolutely corrupted Supreme Court. There's only 3 people on that Supreme Court that are not corrupted, and that is Justice Sotomayor, Justice Kagan, and Justice the most recent person that Joe Biden put on there, and Ketanji Jackson, I believe her name is, and Justice Jackson. Those are the only 3 that are not corrupted and that are trying to follow the law. So, backtracking again, it is a disaster to think that they might get into control of our country. But I want to point out some things that I firmly believe. These religious zealots that are willing to allow Donald Trump to be who he is, knowing full well his character flaws and his inability to tell the truth, or to be a moral person, they don't care about that. What they care about is that he will allow them to have what they want, which is to turn the country into a Christian nationalist nation. And when I say that, what I mean is they want to backtrack our laws so far back that only white men are in charge of our country. Women shouldn't vote. Women should be home. Women cannot have any medical care in terms of abortion or anything of that nature. So when people say, "Oh no, this book doesn't say that abortion will be a national ban," it may not say it in a written sentence that says we are going to nationally ban that. Heather Cox Richardson points out in her segment today that yes, it does say that. It says we want to grant every person at conception personhood. And if every person is granted that legal identity of personhood at conception, not at birth, not when they take their first breath, but at conception, then the 14th Amendment and the 13th Amendment to some degree has guaranteed that anybody that has personhood is legally not allowed to, it will be considered murder if you kill them. So that is the answer that, yes, they do plan a national ban on abortion for all women. And that includes whether you're raped or whether you're suffering from incest. Looks like my roommate just got home. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to point out is that less than 33% of the entire population really truly believe this extremist agenda. Fundamentalists and evangelicals believe this crap, and they want to impose their will and impose their brand of Christianity, because I'm a Christian, but I don't believe in any of that crap. And I don't even go to church anymore because I'm kind of fed up with the whole idea. I'm embarrassed by it. That people think that they have the right to tell you how to live. They don't, not in this country. It's a secular country. They don't have the right to push their religion on us. And so they plan on doing those things. And I do really want you to watch those things that I've asked you to watch. I'm not going to talk about On Tyranny today because I can't find it. I did do some research on the State Department. I've done some research on taxes. They want to do a flat tax. And where is that? I can tell you where that is. That is on page Department of Treasury, Import-Export Bank, which they want to get rid of. It's under the Federal Reserve, I believe. And they want to do some really fantastical things with the banks. Hi. They want to have free banking, and they want to get rid of the Federal Reserve. And they don't want to back it up with, where is that? Oh, their economy. The biggest thing that I think that you really need to know is, aside from them trying to destroy our federal government by placing loyalists and the 4,000 people changing their classification to political appointees, and only installing people that have passed the loyalty test to Donald Trump, is that those are people that are not schooled or intelligent or going to be wise enough to make decisions that for the future are good for our people or for our country. And they will do exactly what Donald Trump tells them to do. And what do we know about Donald Trump? We know that he's transactional. So whoever he's talking to and whoever is promising him the biggest billion-dollar, giveaway or whatever it is, like he just asked the oil executives a month ago, give me $1 billion and I'll change all the laws so that it benefits you at the destruction of climate change. And so it's all related, and the people trying to install him and put him into power are a minority. And I just want you to understand that only 33% of the population believe this crap. The problem is that they vote. and they vote in mass. And the people that are frustrated and angry and say, well, I don't like either choice of president, are not looking at the big picture. And the big picture is this. You won't be able to vote again if you vote for Donald Trump. He will remove that right from you. He is currently removing rights and having states remove women's rights, and you won't be able to have those things in this country. So it's important that you understand that whether you like the choice of Joe Biden or not, you need to vote blue no matter who. You need to vote for Joe Biden if he's the candidate. You need to vote for Kamala Harris if she's the candidate. You need to vote for Democrats up and down the ballot in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, so that when they get in charge, they are able to actually affect change so that these things can't happen. Because in reality, their plan is a violation of our Constitution. And what the Supreme Court has done is a violation of our Constitution. They are creating laws not based on originalism, which is this garbage and bunk they used to feed us. Oh, we made this decision and we rescinded your rights, and we've overshot precedents now, and we've just thrown it out. Not out of originalism or the text of the Constitution, but they've just created their own laws, like this immunity law, and they just created it. So, if you don't believe it, you need to, is that all voters, all eligible voters, all people that can vote legally, and I'm saying, very legally, you need to do so. You need to vote Democrat, because you will then overcome this nightmare that's happening. I have so many things I want to tell you about, like that it really is true that they're planning on setting up a whole concentration camp, but they call them deportation camps. So they're going to round up people that are here, whether they're legal or not, and deport them. So if you're not, of the right persuasion, they are going to deport you and put you in a concentration camp until such time as they actually put you on a plane or put you on a boat and send you back to whatever country you might have come from or your family might have come from. So you can even be a U.S. citizen, and they're going to deport you if they don't think that you should be here. And let's see, when's the last time they did stuff like that? Would it be when Hitler took over Germany and people just acquiesced and said, well, they won't do that to me. I'm sure they wouldn't mean it. Well, they will mean it. And they do mean it, and they plan on doing that. So every horrible thing you've heard about that they say, oh, it's not written that way. Well, it may not actually be written in that form in that sentence, but that is what they mean. And you can find it by how they've written the text of this. Don't be overwhelmed. The other thing I point out to you is that the media is not on our side. The broad, large-scale CNN, CBS, ABC, even to some extent MSNBC, because Joe Scarborough had a meltdown yesterday saying you didn't let us come on after the assassination. And I do need to talk about that in a minute. And the truth is that those things happened because the people that own those corporate companies are somewhat of a monopoly, which is a problem, and the Department of Justice should fix that. And they should break up those monopolies. And Sinclair Media owning things. They didn't used to be legally allowed to own as many broadcast areas as they own now, because back in the 80s, there used to be a thing called the Fairness Doctrine, and President Trump got rid of it. And the FCC no longer has to promise you both sides of the story, which was what Howard Cosell used to do. And now, Paul Harvey used to give you actual news. They don't do that anymore because Fox News is completely an entertainment station, and they don't have a news license. They really are not news. They're just giving you their unvarnished opinion without a lot of intelligence behind it. So they're owned by GOP donors. Billionaires are donating to super PACs. You're being overwhelmed and overrun. Money needs to come out of our politics. Citizens United needs to be overturned. And the only way to do those things is to vote for Democrats. You may not like every issue that Joe Biden stands for. You may not like how old he is. You may not like the fact that he's got COVID right now. Today it was announced he's got COVID. He's an old guy. Yes. So is Donald Trump. And Joe Joe Biden is a decent human being who cares about the American people and cares about democracy. Donald Trump is not that person. He is an old man, and he is showing signs of dementia, and the media is not reporting it properly. And if you're not paying attention to that, that's a lick on you. So you do need to know that those are very important things. And so I did want to finally touch up and say that I'm going to include in my links here, and I'm going to try and figure out how to get it on, like if I have a place where I can write, I'm going to put those links there. I want you to watch these things. These are important. These are the people that are in the game, that are in there and fighting like hell for us. Rachel Maddow, Representative Raskin, Heather Cox Richardson, and they are giving us the information and the tools that we need in order to make an informed decision. And voting a third party or not voting is a decision that will impact you negatively and turn our country into a fascist state, authoritarian theocracy, if you want, whatever you want to call it, but it won't be fun and it won't be pleasant, and it'll take astronomical effort to get our country back. So I'm encouraged that Heather Cox Richardson thinks that there are many, many people in our country, including Republicans, because the Republican Party is divided between MAGAs and conservatives, former conservatives. There are many people, and I need Republicans to watch this and listen and pay attention and understand that you need to vote too. And there are many, 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 many people that don't think our rights being taken away, our Supreme Court behaving in a corrupt manner and abolishing precedents and abolishing the entire way that they've operated is sustainable or going to help us to survive as a representational democracy, which means we're a republic, which means we vote for certain things and we vote for people to go and vote in our interests. And that's a representational democracy, and that's what we are. Okay. I'll be back. I may be back sooner than next Wednesday and actually go into in depth some of the changes that they're asking to make. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste the next set of things here for you. Oops, that I had saved onto this chat. Hopefully it's not too big. And there you go. Okay, so those are 4 links that you can watch, and I hope that you enjoy them. Not enjoy them, but get informed and get some information from them. So I'm going to sign off for today, and I really appreciate the person that stuck with me all this time. All right, thanks.